Hi Scorpio. So this will be a mid-month update. I've already done the general readings for the month. I just want to say thank you for everyone who sent me messages. I have to say I was just so touched by them, and they really are helping to get me through the period that I'm in. We're very, very much deep within Scorpio season, aren't we? You are probably all feeling it. Tends to be my favourite season. But let me pull you one card and we'll look at the 6 cards around you for the month. Okay, give me 1 minute. I just need to focus. I'm still a little bit scatty. 1 card, please, for Scorpio. Okay, this is really odd. You get the Yin card. So the Yin card is a card of obviously non-action, but the first card that pulled for you was the opposite, and then you get the Regeneration card. The Regeneration card to me is the Scorpio card. So is the Death card, obviously, but this is like the Judgment card. It's life, death, and then life again. So something coming back into your life tends to be the Regeneration card, but the Yin card is first, which is receptivity, divine feminine, not pushing, very much like the Empress card, self-love, self-care, all those things that sometimes when we're in the thick of it are the hardest parts of ourselves to access. It's almost like your opposite sign. It's like Taurus and Scorpio, and you've got both cards. Very much give your time and attention to your own well-being. And then that's funny, that Regeneration card popping its head up. Yeah, it's the other side of the Death card. So it can be about something coming back to life again. I find with that Regeneration card, I've only had a few experiences in my life of completely letting go. Completely. And that's when the Regeneration card happens. I don't know, you can't force it. You can't control it. It's almost a very, very big, it's an inner process. I think most of you know exactly what I'm talking about, but you can't force letting go. But when it happens, it completely happens, and that's when the Regeneration card comes in. But yeah, it's something that you can work towards, but you definitely can't make happen. I think I'm going to do one more shuffle because I'm finding it a little bit of a challenge to connect. Give me 1 minute. One more shuffle, one more split of the deck. I'm finding a lot of personal readings are building up to the January astrology, by the way, just to let you know that there's definitely something in the air. And when I extend my readings to the January aspect, I'm beginning to find the resolution that people are seeking is coming then. But I'm really hoping if anyone's sort of waiting for something, it's not as long as that, but we'll soon find out. And then when we're in that headspace, we're not in yin, you see, we're still trying to make something happen. And I guess that's not that full letting go. So 6 cards, please. So I'm talking too much. Queen of Pentacles behind you, which is very much like the Yin card. This might be a person, or it might be about your energy. The earth element is always about self-esteem, self-value, self-care. That peacock gets its tail from eating its thorns. So basically, in the world of tarot and spiritual growth, it's our thorns that make us into the masters in life, okay? The gift is the Magician, the 4 aces, the challenge is the 2 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords in your relationships. Oh gosh, okay. I didn't mean that as a real negative, but you might be dealing with someone who's paralysed from making a decision. And please Please excuse my terminology if it's not the best. The Seven of Swords to me is analysis paralysis. It's about someone walking towards a future, but they've got themselves stuck in their mind. Ten of Wands underneath the Magician card, and then you get the Knight of Cups as the outcome. That's very interesting. Do you know what, Scorpio? And it might help you. I mean, I think you're my 5th reading. Every single person's reading, apart from one, we're dealing with, it's the relationship energy, which is other people's energy. It's not yours, which is proving the challenge. That Seven of Swords is a shadow card. So something that's not came, things reach conclusions in the tens, and anything before the tens is a process card. It's the human mind doing its drama, okay? I, Scorpio, do the drama. There's no judgment here. Something's not over until it's over at the end of the day. But you are clearly dealing with someone who's in a process of change and who is stuck in this goddamn 7. And you know what? I deal with this card a lot, and I always want to push the person through the doorway, and I bet you do as well, but we cannot. Yin, self-care, Queen of Pentacles, self-love, self-value. I treat myself like a precious object. And every single little bit of this energy, Scorpio, use it to become more and more and more empowered and more transformed into this beautiful queen, because that is what transmutation is. That's what alchemy is. We use whatever this person's process is they're stuck in to become more and more of what we were always meant to become. And as a Scorpio, that's going to always be about becoming an empowered person. I knew your reading was going to be intense. The Magician is the gift, so there you go. If you use the other person's energy not as a negative, but as whatever shadow they've got themselves stuck in, you use it to become more empowered. That's basically why you're getting Magician as the gift. And it's almost like, you know, sometimes, what is that? In the deepest darkness, the light comes. And that's not what's going on for you, but that can be a real example of empowerment. And if you're dealing with someone who's stuck in their own shadow, too scared to move, then you have to use that energy to become this beautiful magician, which is all the aces. It's about bringing in this divine power in order to step forward into your own destiny. Because you're Scorpio at the end of the day, and that's what the energy represents. Boy, it's such a pain when you're dealing with someone in this process. But again, this peacock gets its tail because of it. And that's what Mastery of Scorpio is about. Not always, but sometimes it's about using other people's fear, other people's ability to stand in the truth, and use it for you to become that person who stands in their own truth, which is what the Magician is the gift. Boy, Two of Pentacles as a challenge. Some of you might be doing a lot of juggling of finances. It can be the juggling of life situations, work, downtime, playtime, very much. Now, the Two of Pentacles can be a card of letting go of one of these pentacles. Can be obviously a card of making an investment, because the pentacle goes over his shoulder and it lands, and eventually it takes root into the person's future. So again, there's a lot of reflection, there's a lot of cards about empowerment here. very powerful time here. And what to say about this other people's energy. You know what, Scorpio? Most of us live our life somewhere in the shadow realms, okay? I do include myself in it. Give me a little bit more about the Seven of Swords. What is this person's energy? Why are they in the Seven of Swords, please? Because this is about going towards a new future, but overthinking it so much that they've got themselves paralysed on the spot. It's with the Wheel, which is about timing. Now the tens are all conclusion cards, so it might be that this person's working themselves towards a conclusion, but their head and heart always the same. Resistance, head and heart going in separate directions. A 5 and a 7, both very challenging cards. So the other people that you're focusing on are very much dealing with challenging things, but they're both minor arcanas, which means they're states of mind. They're the dramas of everyday life that we all need to work through to get to our treasure. And the Wheel is a 10, which I am assuming for some of you there's some sort of conclusion about to be hit here. Now under the Magician is a 10 of Wands. Actually, can I go to the outcome? And then I'm going to go to the 10 of Wands, because the outcome is the Knight of Cups. So I don't know if this is the person breaking through, reaching that conclusion, because if we're not doing it at the moment, I don't know when we're going to do it. Yeah, because that is part of Scorpio's season, is working through our shadows and breaking out of them, the Knight of Cups. Anything more about that Knight of Cups? Nothing seems to be coming through here. There's just, I don't know if this is going to be some sort of news, but it's with the Two of Swords. So you might not be as quick to respond with that Two of Swords. So the central issue is another 10, which means something again is reaching a conclusion. But the 10 of Wands is like one of those cards. On the most practical realm, the best way to describe the 10 of Wands is you're leaving a job, but you've got the last few weeks to work through. So something's already over, but you're still having to complete it. You're at the very last stages of something. But I cannot help feeling this is this energy. Which means that 10 of Wands actually belongs to the residue of the relationship energy you're dealing with. Give me one connecting card between this and this. Boy. Yeah, you get the Tower. The Tower breaks through the Devil card. The Tower breaks through those stuck places. Tends to be maybe some sort of contact might be made, some sort of breakthrough might be happening for you this week, Scorpio. It's funny how in the Knight of Cups ran into the Two of Swords. So for some of you might be getting this process of empowerment so powerfully that you're very, very much in your peacefulness. That it's like, okay, what I've been waiting for is manifested, but you've got to this such a powerful inner space that you're at peace. I'm going to try and get one more card about how you deal with this person that you're dealing with, because it's quite it's a pain. That's it. It's annoying. How do you deal with this person? Actually, you get the Four of Pentacles. Take a step back. That's what Yin and Regeneration meant. If you take a step back and allow them to work through what they're working through. So don't force, not that you would, don't over-text, don't do anything. Just allow them to do it. It's one of the hardest things to do. And so often now I still go off into my trip where I forget, and I'll make contact, I'll get involved in someone else's process. It's always a mistake. It never leads us to where we want to go to, and it's definitely will not lead you to this Magician and this Queen of Pentacles, which is so much based on power coming when we get to that point of total yin, total peace with life exactly as it is when the regeneration card happens, and not a minute before. So really my message for you, Scorpio, is to attend to your inner life and let this goddamn energy make its way through, because it will. Because a 10 showing up, 2 10s, which means something's about to reach completion. Okay guys, lots of love. Bye.